Guys, and welcome to my first Pyro gameplay commentary. And yeah, my first Pyro gameplay commentary. That leaves just one class for me to play, and that is my least favourite class, Heavy. But Pyro is not my second least favourite class. How do you even say that? But yeah, it's not low down on my list, it's definitely not. I do quite like Pyro. It's quite a fun class, and it was one of the first classes that I played in TF2 that I thought was quite accessible. But yeah, so what I'll be doing today in the second half of the video, I'll be joined with Epic Jester, who will be playing Engineer. He is at the moment wrangle jumping into a spot behind the gates, and that's where I will try to defend his nest and help him out and be a Pybro, and that's what the gameplay was supposed to be, me trying to show off this loadout, which is the shotgun, the Degreaser and the Homewrecker, and just help out the Engineer. But it didn't work out. I didn't really get to use the Homewrecker that much, and also the reason I use this loadout is I find it such a good loadout because I love the air blasts of the Degreaser because it uses less ammo. I love the fast weapon switching. I think the shotgun is one of the most underrated weapons in TF2. People really underestimate how much power this thing can actually do. So, I think I die right here, actually. And, as you can see, we were getting a bit rolled, and you could say the teams were stacked. Well, looking at the cart now, yeah, the teams are stacked. But, basically what Jester is doing now is he is behind the nest, behind the gate, as you can see just in the little corner there, and he's wrangle jumped already up there, and this is his teleport, and I'll try and get on here and not let the spy shoulder barge me off because I really do need to get up there. So what happens is I'll take the teleport, and this is his nest here. He's already been set up, and what I will do is just watch out for spies, spy check, keep the enemies at bay, and also I've got the Homewrecker as well, so if he goes down I can just use the zaps. So I can also go out as well and just come back and fall back to the sentry or fall back to the dispenser. So what you'll see mostly now is just me spraying around and then some spies attacking, but I'll talk about the shotgun again because I think I got a bit off thought. But the shotgun is one of the most underrated weapons in TF2 in my opinion, because on the classes that it gets used for, I think it's Engineer, Soldier and Pyro, and it just doesn't get used enough, especially on Pyro. People seem to use the flare gun as like a default weapon now, and I still think the shotgun is incredibly good, and people have forgotten about it that you could actually put the shotgun on Pyro. This thing does a lot of damage. I mean, I could be using the reserve shooter now to get the crits in midair, but I really like the amount of shots you get, and it's just such a good weapon to use to stop people from pushing, and also it gives Pyro that little bit of range that he desperately needs. I know it's not much damage, but even a little bit of damage can keep them at bay sometimes. So take a bit of heavy damage, but I was thinking, you know, we've got this now. This nest is pretty safe, and because the reason we wanted to do this nest is because it's the best place to hold, because there's only two paths to get into the back area, through the middle and through this place here. And if you can hold this place, it's incredibly good because this is their easiest path to get to the cart, and that's what our objective was really, and we were doing really well, wasn't facing much resistance apart from the odd super spy coming back and forth. And this heavy as well, I love doing the air blast because it just pounds him backwards and just slows him down and lets the burn damage take its toll. So the heavy didn't really stand a chance against this sentry. The sentry wasn't in the best spot. There are some vantage points which can reach the sentry, but as long as I'm here I can defend it and keep the spies and heavies at bay, and the heavy was the main threat really. And as you can see here, look at this, there's just spies everywhere. I think I've killed about 4 spies and they just don't stop coming. But lovely gameplay this. I love playing the Pybro because it just makes the Engie feel so much safer, and it makes the nest so much more effective. I mean, I could be out there doing stuff, but I think this is actually more effective. And because, like I've said before, me and Jester were in the same room, we can give each other shout outs, so You can see now he's crouching down behind his sentry. That's because I said, watch out, there are enemies about and they are coming. And yeah, so he was allowed to get the shoutouts, and that gave us that just a little bit of advantage. And for some reason, that spy, he got to the back so fast. He just jumped right over the sentry. And this will be the Homewrecker in action, the only time you ever see the Homewrecker in action. And what the Homewrecker does is it removes zappers with 2 hits, just like an engineer wrench. So that's why I'm a Pybro. And there's a lot of enemies coming, and I'm not sure whether I go down here, but it's very soon that I go down, and some bad stuff happens, and I have to just resort to playing normal Pyro. You know, just mulling about and stuff. But the gameplay is quite short. This gameplay is 9:45 minutes, something. 9, yeah. Why do I keep saying number 9? Yeah, 9 minutes and 45 seconds, around about that time. And this bit here, we did get a bit mauled, but because I had that air blast, it just air blasts him straight into a place where he has to get shot. So this nest is such a hard spot to do. It's one of the hardest in TF2, I find, because it's just never works. I mean, this here, how annoying is that? I reflected it, but it didn't do anything, and then I took damage, and then he reflected it off the wall as well, and there was a long respawn, so I cut it out. And by the time I get back up here, the nest is completely down, and what a shame. The dispenser was still up, but I did get bum rushed by this Pyro, and he got that as well, and then he got the exit. So the sentry did manage to get back up, but I couldn't hold them off. I only had 2 health, and yeah, the sentry went down as well. So really unfortunate, that spot, but that was just, I'll be showing more of that spot in other gameplays, because that spot is one of my favourite engineer spots, and especially for me being Pyro as well, it's really interesting gameplay of how to defend a sentry nest and be a bit of a Pybro, and just help the remove some of the zappers and things like that. But what we try and do is we go for a last ditch effort, because we know the sentry's on point, and we want to try and wrangle jump back up there while they're still up there, and maybe try and make that work. But it's just very hard to do that, especially when they're up there, and you do take a lot of damage from wrangle jumping. And sometimes it doesn't work first time. But Epic Jester did have the Rescue Ranger on, so I think it might have been a little bit quicker. And so yeah, I can't really say much about this last part of the gameplay. It's just standard Pyro, and what I like to do is I like to flick him up with the air blast. So set him on fire, flick him up with the air blast, maybe get a lucky reflect, and then pop him with a shotgun, and then switch back to the flamethrower. And that'll usually finish off an enemy around about 125 health with a quick fire blast, a quick air blast, and a quick shotgun. But Epic Jester's sentry went down, and also I think he went down upstairs as well. So that was our chances of getting that spot up was over, but I just continued to play Pyro, and I knew we were going to win because that spot, it held them off for such a long time, and it made a lot of the spies change class because they didn't have much success. So in effect, that spot did actually help quite a lot, and it wasn't completely useless. And shout out to Epic Jester doing a great job as the engineer as well. So as you can see, this is just an example of me setting him on fire, then just flicking him up after I finish with him. Yeah, so I've been playing pretty well as TF2 really. This was my highest scoring Pyro game I've ever had really, and I've been playing Pyro a lot more recently because I got a new hat for it and just wanted to test it out. And also got my highest spy game ever as well, so I've been playing really well, and I do want to make a heavy gameplay for you. I think it will be not a serious gameplay, maybe using the Holiday Punch and the Crits Creek or something like that. Something not very serious, because I'm not very good at serious heavy. I'm actually terrible at it, so that's why you haven't seen any heavy gameplays from me. But yeah, things are looking good for the channel, and I'm making lots of videos, and I've made videos for every class now, and I hope you enjoy these Pyro gameplays. I know I'm not the best at Pyro. You just got to understand that I don't play it that much. But I think I did a good job, and you don't have to be a Pyro that just kills everybody. You can be that team helping Pyro, and I think that's what players love. They don't like the back burner, or they don't like the Degreaser flare gun extinguisher Pyros, because it can get a bit annoying and repetitive, but this kind of Pyro is a team help, and it's very nice to play with. So that's the end of the gameplay, and thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day.